Alright, so hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today, I want to sit down and talk about something that I think is fairly good news. For the most part, I've been seeing a lot of increase in supply of RTX 30 series cards and AMD RX 6000 series cards. And this has pretty much just been looking at my local micro center. Now, of course, when I want to sit down and record the video, the site goes offline. But I checked about 20 minutes ago to see what the supply numbers were for the day. And something that struck me was this card. So this is just Best Buy's version of the card. I couldn't have it pulled up on Micro Center because this thing, I guess the website's just down. But the MSI GeForce RTX 3070 Ventus 3X, I think the one on Micro Center was the LHR version, so it's not this exact model. But this thing was going for $750. And earlier in the morning when I got up and checked the website, they had 25 plus in stock. So they will say 25 plus is like the number, the maximum number that they will list. They won't tell you how much they have past 25. And when I checked 20 minutes ago, they also had 25 plus in stock. And it's been about 5 hours since the store has been opened, and they still have more than 25 cards in the store. And that means a lot because the 3070 for the most part was the most kind of coveted card this generation. 3070 I think sat at a really good price point. I think that it is kind of the most obtainable level of performance that most kind of enthusiast gamers are going for. And I think for the most part, for people who want an NVIDIA graphics card, it kind of has everything that you would want. Now it does lack a lot of VRAM compared to the AMD camp, but it's not really the argument we're trying to get into today. But it was selling for $750 and it was in stock for a very long time, and it probably is still in stock depending on what Micro Center location you're at. Now this also kind of coincides with a bunch of other creators talking about GPU pricings actually going down, and there's a ton of factors to why that is happening. Mostly because of that is going to be just a general less amount of demand across the market. A lot less people are looking for graphics cards right now. And so I think a lot of people are seeing these content creators and these lower graphics cards prices and are saying, okay, I'm gonna go spend the money right now and get myself my upgrade for my graphics card. And for those people who aren't necessarily in the boat where they want to wait for the next generation because that might be a little bit too far off for them, or if they just want to get this generation's series of performance, you might be looking at buying one of the cards right now. Now, I don't think that that's the worst idea in the world. If you can get a card like the 3070 Ventus 3X for $750 brand new at a retailer, and that's exactly the kind of card that you're going for and it fits your price range, then sure, I would go for it because I can't predict the future. I'm not gonna say that graphics card pricing is for sure gonna go down in the future. Some catastrophe could happen at some point in the future where all computer prices are gonna skyrocket. But again, I don't have a crystal ball that I can look in to tell you guys that that's what's gonna happen. If it were me, I would probably myself wait until around April or May to consider buying one of these cards. And the main reason for this is because most of these companies like AMD, Nvidia, who are selling these graphics cards have said that Q2 or around Q2 of 2022 is when we're gonna start seeing a pretty good resolution to these supply problems. I think for the most part, we're gonna start seeing a massive increase in supply and probably lower interests in buying one of these graphics cards. And then we're also gonna be seeing Intel enter the game. Intel Arc GPUs are gonna be a big deal, I think, for a lot of people. I think they're gonna be offered at really good pricing. We don't really necessarily know what their performance levels are gonna be like, but I think the overall community thinks that in order for Intel to be somewhat competitive in this market, they do have to undercut AMD and Nvidia just because they aren't established in the market yet. We don't know how good drivers are going to be. We don't know how well the cards are going to perform on a per game basis. And again, there's just a lot of variables that go into it, whereas people kind of know what to expect when they're buying an Nvidia graphics card or an AMD graphics card. So I think for the most part, waiting until April or May is going to be the optimum kind of time frame to buy one of these graphics cards. Now to kind of end this little spiel, I want to talk about CPUs. CPUs have been a weird one this year. They haven't been talked about a whole lot since, you know, graphics cards have kind of taken main stage. But I think CPUs are extremely important to talk about, especially since this year I think is going to be one of the most transformative years for CPUs. Intel is supposed to release, yes, again, their next generation of CPUs this year, even though they launched Alder Lake like 2 months ago. AMD still hasn't come out with a new generation of CPUs within a year. And the 5000 series of CPUs are probably going to be close to 2 years old before Ryzen 7000 comes out for desktop. In all honesty, I think we're going to see a huge back and forth between Intel and AMD when it comes to desktop processors. AMD this quarter has lost a market share to Intel when it comes to desktop processor sales. but they also gained when it comes to server processor sales. So both of these companies are definitely going at each other in some form. AMD, for some reason, is just refusing to drop their prices on their 5000 series processors. It might just be for the sake of margin, and they just want to keep on making the amount of margin that they have been on these CPUs, which I guess is, I don't know, good for them. And they're still making a crap ton of money. And Intel is actually being somewhat competitive at this price point. They're dropping the prices of their Alder Lake CPUs, and for the most part, they're better biased than what AMD has out right now. But I also think if you're looking at getting an entirely new system, these CPU generations, I don't think are the ones to buy into. This year is going to be so transformative for both CPUs and GPUs that right now I really do think if you're starting to buy into a new platform, it might not be the best idea. You might be kind of kicking yourself in the future once you start to see what the next generations of CPUs might end up being. So my overall advice for the second quarter is if you've been looking at a GPU for a very long time, then the beginning of quarter two is going to be probably the time frame that you want to be looking at one. So when Intel comes out with their desktop GPUs, when AMD comes out with their 50 refresh of the RX 6000, and hopefully NVIDIA starts to lower the prices of the 3000 series cards, that's probably going to be the best time frame to buy a new graphics card. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you should buy a brand new system. Like I said before, CPUs are going to get a pretty big overhaul this year. So I think right now, my personal game plan would be keep the same system that you have right now. If you have a system that has the ability to have a swappable graphics card, probably just keep the CPU in there for right now. Grab a new graphics card when the time comes. Even though if the graphics card might be bottlenecked for a little bit, I think that honestly waiting a couple of months for the new generation of the Intel CPUs or for AMD 7000 to come out, I think that is going to be a well worth it wait for a lot of people. So yeah, that's about it. I just want to kind of talk about my overall thoughts on the market, what my personal opinions on what you guys should be kind of looking out for and what you guys should pretty much be considering when it goes to buying some new gaming hardware. And yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave that down in the comment section below. We also have a channel Discord server where we have a bunch of people that can help you with your tech questions. If you guys did end up enjoying the video or you found that helpful, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.